Ms. Wagner, are you able to hear me okay?
I am, Your Honor.
Okay, I know that we've got the one non-technical probation violation, but do we have more than that too?
Not on this petition. I did just last week send you the show cause, which is probably a mute point at this point. Those were for positive tests to be put on the docket for April 2nd.
Okay, gotcha. Okay,
I'm not for sure if
all
you had
right.
signed that one or not yet.
I did. I think I did yesterday. That's why I was kind of
Okay. Thank you.
behind. Mr. Galarno, are you able to hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, we're on record now in People versus Galarno, case number 214552. The record should reflect Mr. Galarno is present today by video from Wexford County Jail. We have Mr. Seeger present on his behalf here for purposes of arraignment today. And Ms. Wagner is here on behalf of probation and parole. Mr. Galarno, you're before the court today for arraignment on an alleged probation violation. It's alleged that you violated your probation in that on or about March 15th of 2024. You violated a state law when you assaulted Samantha Galarno. Do you understand why you're before the court today?
Not really.
All right, well, your probation officer is alleging that you violated your probation by committing an assault, which is a violation of state law, which you're not supposed to do. Do you understand that?
Correct.
Okay. I'm going to go through what your rights are at this point. First of all, you do have the right to have a hearing as to whether or not you did violate your probation, as I've stated they are alleging you did. You also have the right to have, yep.
I have a couple questions. Seeing that you was a sentencing judge on my case, I know that there was specific guidelines and whatnot for sentencing and everything, and for me being on probation. I provided evidence last time I went to see my probation officer on the substances that I was taking. I was pills that was given to me to wean off of certain drugs or whatnot, apparently, which I just found out, shows a false positive test, and you have to have specific tests for that. I gave her the prescriptions when I first got them, so she should have known that I was about the pills that I was taking. She should have known that, and instead of constantly I felt like I didn't know what was going on, because I knew I wasn't doing nothing. I wasn't taking any kind of drugs, but I kept on coming up positive on stuff, and I didn't understand it. And my probation was extended for some reason when I didn't even I never violated. I did everything what I was supposed to do. I'm on disability, taking care of a family of 5, and I'm doing my best. And I did exactly what I was supposed to do for the year that I was on probation. And there was no kind of court
Well,
hearing.
let me stop you there for a second. This violation doesn't have anything to do with positive drug tests. This violation alleges that you violated a state law by assaulting Samantha Galarno. Okay.
Right, but I shouldn't even.
You understand that? That's why we're here today. So your positive tests don't have anything to do with what's going on today. All right.
Yes, sir. My point was just meaning that I shouldn't even been on probation, and I don't understand what that is all about.
Well,
because she
the fact is you were on. Listen, let me go through your rights with you, okay? Because I want to make sure you understand what's happening today and what your choices are going forward. And I also want you to understand that anything you're telling me here today, you're making these statements on the record and they can be used against you. So you may not want to talk about it, the underlying facts, too much until you understand what your rights are. So you have the right to have a hearing as to whether or not you actually did violate your probation as alleged. And so if you want to contest this, and if you're saying that you didn't violate state law by assaulting Samantha Galarno, then you have the right to have a hearing to determine whether that actually occurred or not. You also have the right to have a lawyer present in any subsequent proceedings. Mr. Seeger is here today to advise you if you have questions, and I would give you an opportunity to speak with him if you wanted to before deciding how you want to go forward. If you are found guilty of violating your probation eventually after a hearing or by a plea, then it could subject you to the maximum penalty on your underlying charge, which is receiving and concealing a stolen property, a motor vehicle, and that's a habitual fourth. And Ms. Wagner, what's the maximum possible penalty there?
It's a life offense.
Okay, which is up to life in prison. So do you understand those things that I just stated to you?
Yes, sir.
All right, have you had a chance to talk to Mr. Seeger before the hearing today?
No, sir, Mr.
Would
Seaver,
you like an opportunity, to do that?
no, I'd like to have my own lawyer, Mike Horowitz.
Okay, so
And Your Honor, just for
I-
clarification, I am only appearing for purposes of arraignment. I will assign Mr. Horowitz, who was assigned the underlying case for which is part and parcel of the allegation, which in speaking with Mr. Glarno yesterday, he denies categorically as untrue. And the matter has been assigned to Mr. Horowitz, but I will assign this one as well to Mr. Horowitz.
Okay, so the court's gonna enter a not guilty plea on your behalf today, Mr. Glarno. Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we'll enter a not guilty plea on your behalf today. The next thing we have to do is the court will set it for a hearing. And then you'll have a chance to talk to Mr. Horowitz before that hearing. Pending that hearing, we need to set a bond. Ms. Wagner, do you have any position with regard to what bond should be?
I do, just briefly, Your Honor, as you're aware, he's on probation for a life offense. Back on December 28th of 2023, he was before you and arraigned on a violation for having firearms, which those charges are still pending. So he's been out on bond for that. And here he is engaged in assaultive behavior just recently, which has landed
Allegedly.
him. Okay, can I talk, please, Mr. Galerno? So he has been charged criminally with assault with intent to do great bodily harm less than murder, domestic violence as a HAB 4, which is a mandatory 25-year sentence. He has a $500,000 cash surety bond on that. I would just ask that the bond that was imposed back in December be revoked and he be given a high bond on this case, or his bond be revoked in the other pending PV. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Seeger or Mr. Galarno, is there anything that you would like to say with regard to what court should set for bond?
On behalf of Mr. Galarno, I would say that one, the bond that was set yesterday addresses the alleged conduct in that particular file, albeit I do understand it's part and parcel of the probation violation. The court has already contemplated a bond for which Mr. Galarno denies is untrue, that any of the allegations contained within the complaints are accurate. To my understanding, he wishes to go forward and have a preliminary examination. So to that end, Your Honor, a very large bond has already been imposed, for which it's going to be difficult for him to post. He had indicated that he really does not have the financial resources to post the $500,000 bond, but I would just ask the court to give him a reasonable bond, or given that the court and district court has already given a $500,000 bond, which is an amount that he's unable to post currently unless he's able to work out some other arrangements. But to my understanding, he did not have the financial ability to do it. And to my understanding, he wishes to proceed forward to vindicate himself either at the preliminary examination or ultimately at trial. But he's denying all the allegations as untrue.
All right, Mr. Galarno, is there anything you wanted to say?
Yeah, because of this going forward the way that it is, and without lack of evidence, per se, and my issues with certain steps that's been going through this, I really need to talk to Horowitz on a lot of this, because some of this stuff I shouldn't. Yeah, I'm not going anywhere. I'm sitting in here on allegations. I've made every appearance that was required of me. I'm not going nowhere. I'm a local person that, I've done everything that was asked of me, to be honest. There's really no threat from me. All these charges that are against me are allegations, and once the proceedings continue, I'll be able to prove my innocence on all this stuff. It's just that I haven't been given a chance yet, and it's just bombarding me. I shouldn't even, this probation thing, because I shouldn't even be dealing with her. I was off probation like a month in November. I don't even know why I'm still having conversations with this lady. No idea. I should, I don't get it. I've
Okay.
done everything
All
I
right.
was supposed to do, and for some reason I've been penalized because I'm poor. That's pretty much what it comes up to, because I couldn't pay all my fines. I'm a I'm a dad with a family of 5 that I'm trying to struggle and support, but I keep getting penalized for it, and I'm doing everything that I can. I've been to every court hearing, I've been to trial, I've been doing everything that was asked of me. I got my kids that I'm losing.
All right, the court is familiar with the file. I've had a chance to review it prior to the hearing today. Number one, the charge does carry with it, if you're found guilty of violating your probation, either on this one or your other probation violation that's set for hearing, I believe, on May 7th, then you're facing up to life in prison. You're not here because you're poor. You're here because you were convicted by a jury of receiving and concealing stolen property, and you were sentenced to probation. And the probation carries with it certain conditions that you're required to abide by. And you've been alleged to have violated those conditions multiple times throughout the probation. So it doesn't have anything to do with your financial status. It has everything to do with your prior criminal conduct. The alleged violation in this case is assaultive in nature. The court has concerns for public safety. You have other pending cases before this court, so the court has concerns that if you're released, that you're going to continue to violate laws of the state of Michigan. So for all those reasons, the court finds that an appropriate bond is $50,000 cash or surety. The court will set this for hearing on within the 14 days as required by statute. You'll have an opportunity, as I said, to speak with Mr. Horowitz prior to that hearing. And we'll go forward from there. That's all we have for today. And the court's going to disconnect at this time.
Mr. Horowitz, Mr. Mertz, can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
When I was sentenced, how long was I supposed to be on probation? For 1 year?
Ms. Wagner, what was the original term of probation?
He got 12 months, Your Honor. I just had these conversations with Mr. Galarno at length last Wednesday. He continues to wonder why he's still on probation.
Because I don't understand how come.
Mr. Galarno, let Ms. Wagner, Mr. Galarno, let Ms. Wagner talk. Okay, quit interrupting people. Please.
He was sentenced to 12 months in jail, then his probation was extended. He has a he's on probation right now until November 21st of 2024.
Okay, so Mr. Galarno, if you wanted to challenge extending, when was the probation extended, Ms. Wagner?
You signed it on 8/7 of 2023.
Okay, so your probation was extended last August. If you wanted to challenge that extension, Mr. Galarno, you should have done it then. And you didn't, so you continue to be subject to the conditions of your probation.
There was no court hearing. I never had any.
That's because you never challenged it.
Well, I didn't know. Well, how do I challenge something when I didn't know I had a chance to challenge it?
That's up to you to find out. It's not my job to advocate for you or help you with your case. So that's up to you. You have the responsibility to take care of those things.
Right. Okay.
That's all we have for today. The court's going to disconnect.